but the true, divine, and national movement of North America Moors, from the tribes, families, and lineages of one free Moorish American nation, comes forth a century of Beys, Els, Ali, Duns, Days, Zulu, Washitas, Nubians, etc., Ales. We stand as the vanguards, the executive, the rulers, and official representatives, deriving our just powers in due time from the great God of our ancient forefathers, that inherit and divine autonomies to link ourselves with the families of nations. Hereunto stand declare and hereby affix our seals, proclaiming ourselves as one nation, bearing one free national name. I hope y'all following me. Signers and framers of the proclamation of the status and jurisdiction of the Moorish Americas in proper persona, Sejuras, name, Elu in Pleasant Bay, 1942, Norfolk, Virginia. Aisha in Pleasant Bay, 1956, Baltimore, Maryland. Mecca E. Pleasant Bay, 1951, Baltimore, Maryland. Boaz I. in Pleasant Bay, 1983, Baltimore. Joshua Land in Pleasant Bay, 1988. Zakaria A. Pleasant Bay, 1991. Ali Pleasant Bay. Kadisha Owens Bay. Inshallah Pleasant Bay. So, look, man, we can go on and on when people be lying. This what I'm telling you. So when I be telling you, you got these Moors talk about the temple this, I hear you. I'm talking about the teachings. The teachings. This teaching was way before Noble Drew Ali. Bless Noble Drew Ali for bringing something, I give honors to Noble Drew Ali for bringing Negroes back to something. And when I say back to something, mean if somebody bringing you back for something, meaning it was lost, meaning you owned it before, meaning you know that. So I give credit and respect to all the laws and the prophets, not the ones that I haven't even seen, but the ones that's in the flesh. Like who? Abdul Hamid Solomon, like Deuce Muhammad, like the Black Hitler of Harlem. That's who. So we got to keep things in line. But when we talk about the Moorish Science Temple, that structure, Noble Drew Ali was one of the first to bring that structure back, to teach our holy and divine creed. Yes, but by law, that's what he's saying. He's like, by law, I'm bringing something back to you. I hope we understanding this. That's what I want to make clear. I respect all the laws and prophets, but how can you say you love God? You never see them. You don't love man that you see every day, and you don't think that the great God Allah works through man? You got to be kidding me. Then you looking for some pie in the sky. You might as well go to church. And all these names, if 77 names and the registered are the embryo, vanguards, and forerunners representing a living family of 60 million witnesses and members bearing one free national name, appearing in persona, sejuris, proclaiming their one free national status of Moorish Americans nationality before their government. They stand to be recognized by nations of earth. You see how people be out of line? I said this is a body. You're not no sovereign and no citizen. That's why I say when you don't know, when a person can't, it's not technical in the arena of court, your black rear end will be hanged. I'm telling you, because there's no excuse in the court of law not knowing of not knowing the law. It's certain little technical things that you'll get caught on, and they'll get you on record saying some stupid stuff, and then that's a wrap. I tell y'all, man, Negroes be thinking they so smart when they put a fez on. I'm like, that don't mean that you just put a fez on. You ain't studying nothing. You got the right to shut the heck up. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Nothing you say in detain is going to help you. Nothing. And that's not no Miranda right. That's your Fifth Amendment. Now, let me show you this other part. We're going to get it. We're going to get on. We're going to get to the teaching. Watch this. However, there has not been a written response as of this date, June 7, 2006, and is now being submitted into the worldwide public domain. As declared, this holy doctrine will now follow up the legal spine of the status quo into the finale of the Moorish American national recognition and acceptance. In the words of our prophet Noble Drew Ali, the only way out the fire is through the fire. And the letter to the Bush administration has not been altered except in the PDF form. for the website where I told you, man, this is what I tell people if you say you're a scholar. It's a thing called the Free Information Act. It's a thing called the Library of Congress. I can find anything. I have a lot of my elders. I know people that work at Cambridge and Oxford. Nothing's hidden. I know people that work at museums. That's why I get books from museums, and I'll be like, man, he don't know what he's talking about. Because a person that just go based off their religious, dogmatic, connotated explanation. And I don't give a damn how eloquently you speak. You still lying. So, the Moorish American national government, from the desk of the Grand National Chairman, Sheikh Elihu Pleasant Bey, the great God is our guide, protection, and salvation through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, April 19, 2006. This is what y'all need to be sharing. Watch this. Honorable George Herbert Walker Bush, April 19, 2006, Office of George Bush, 10000 Memorial Drive, Suite 900, Houston, Texas, 77024-3412. Enclosed, Moorish American Declaration Proclamation. Dear Mr. 41st President, we pray you, your family, and all true American citizens are well. This is a cover missive of illustrious and diplomatic stature. Listen to this. This the letter. Let me read it again, because my homeboy I got this little group chat thing that all the students gonna have when we shut this down, and only members gonna be able to see things, because I'm gonna record them. I'm gonna send them right to you, and then you'll be able to see live all the members. And if you miss it live, you just be going as a student and catch the lessons, write everything down from our Quranic study guide and all that stuff, because you're gonna have lessons. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful, man. But yeah, but listen to this. This is the letter that was written to George Bush, so you can shut all these goofballs down. Dear Mr. 41st President, we pray you, your family, and all true American citizens are well. This is a cover missive of illustrious and diplomatic stature. Verily, it is a forerunner, notifying an installation of the enclosed, the declaration of the Moorish American nation. The intent and nature of these documents are of the highest honor and principles. They derive from the pure heart and minds of the Moorish American people. Having formed themselves into a clean and pure nation, now in due time, our heart is being extended to the heart of the United States of America through its presiding administration. True diplomacy is always the first course of communication among men of free national standards and principles. Ergo, this directive is being sent through Honorable George Herbert Walker Bush, 41st President, as a follow-up from the hand-delivered version on or about January 23, 2006 by Mr. Allen and Flora Poe, District Director of the Women's Republican Party. You hear that? To date, there has not been a responding activity acknowledging the receipt of the particular outreach. Due to the nobility and magnitude of this long-awaited solution, it will only be befitting to make every virtuous effort possible to allow the lion and the lamb to rest together and neither be harmed when morning comes. The sensitivity of this supreme issue merits the attach of the highest caliber to light the pathway for millions to follow. He must be in right order because of magnanimous proportion of the venture with the statesman to devolve into the utmost of his value with prudence. For this historical endeavor, the Honorable 41st President has been our channel of choice to assure perpetual greatness to America due to, number one, his history of being a U.S. ambassador, 2, Director of Security, Central Consciousness, 3, the guider of the nation's first family, and 4, integrity and immediate accessibility to the sitting President, Honorable George W. Bush. This course of Moorish American presence in North America is in hand clasp. A hand clasp. When you see the hand clasps, and more than I want to give something to Freemasonry, I said, you don't understand. People do things in clandestine. That's political and religious, but this means something way higher. And if you're an adept, and if you say you some grand sheik, you should know the science. You should know this adept wisdom, what I'm talking about. But that's the hand clasp of unity being pursued above. A precedent sitting at more publicized appellant. You right? Procedures offered through the U.S. federal courts. not because the ultimate decision would not be virtuous, but the sequence would not allow Mr. President the first opportunity to exercise his executive option and deploy the judicial arms to personally assist in the ordination and civil purging of Moorish consciousness into the human family of nations. And indeed, Moors, there is still much wisdom to be learned of the descendants of Americas. This is the letter to George Bush, man. Let me finish it with this. Mr. President, we humbly ask you to send us an immediate acknowledgement of your reception of these documents. This is necessary to avoid redirecting the course of the inevitable events. If it's your will and pleasure, you may issue instructions and arrangements via phone call, email, write, or otherwise contact. I direct at the contacts below my signature. We look forward to the great day when former slaves and former slave masters can link themselves with the families of nations, and none will be in want of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Upon your request, I will forward you the list of cabinet officials which will be present for your disbursement. We prepare and enclose 5 original copies of the Moorish American Declaration, Proclamation of Status and Jurisdiction. Each copy of the aforesaid document and this missive will bear the embossed National Moorish American seal to assure their authenticity. Through our high principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, Honorable Elihu, in Pleasant Bay, Sheikh Elihu in Pleasant Bay, Divine Minister, Grand National Chairman of the Moorish Americans. Here go proof and postal and delivery receipts to President Bush, the first president. I'm gonna show it on to my people here. You see that receipt? I'm telling you, man. Nobody got to fake the funk. I'm telling you, man. We gonna bust all it out, because I told you some stuff don't even make no sense. Some stuff people doing is fraud, all in all. Especially one of my brothers, one of my Moorish brothers hit me up, was like, man, I called the temple in Chicago. They talk about we don't need nothing no more, this, and that, and the other. And then he was like, man, when I spoke to you, he was like, oh, he hung up the phone. So he was like, he called back, talk about, just send money for some ID. I said, listen here, man. Let me tell y'all, let me tell y'all something factual. You got to check everything, man. You must check everything. Because if somebody established something, why it doesn't work no more? If my dad established a way we do things and it works and we can do it the right way and it can be looked up and they say, hell, you Moorish American through the Moorish Science Temple of America, y'all can do things the right way. Then you take it to the warrant courts, and then some, I almost called it, but y'all, and then some domestic terrorists, now they just got a phone number answering the phones. Why you think that what works don't work no more? Because they doing what Noble Drew Ali said. Some Negroes will sell you back in slavery with the feds on. And no, they not making sense. I keep telling y'all, man, you dealing with a whole bunch of idiots. No disrespect. You dealing with a whole bunch of people that's going in the temple and then nothing's happening. And you see what Moors that go to the temple about. You see what these grown men do. They got their own little TV stuff and they ain't talking about nothing. They ain't talking about nothing. It's no science. And then if you go to the temple and think, well, you should be the first thing you should be doing is like, look, we're gonna show what's going on in the temple, but they don't. It's a secret. They get on there and put the feds on and show themselves. But if you go into the temple and if you're doing the Moorish things, why are you not showing it? Why you not videoing it? Why when you there, when you teaching, so you can show the people the holy teachings? See, they can't. See, and that's why I said these Negroes, just like they do the same thing Freemasons do. They act like it's a fucking secret. Excuse my language. You see how it's set up? I'm telling you, how I know? Man, you can ask my dad. My dad right in the room right now. He'll tell you, my dad like, I ain't going to that bullshit. After we used to have metaphysical class, he'd be like, man, he'd like, Kareem, you figure it out for yourself. I had to. And that's why I said I got a father, and I had to tread. The science is right, but them Negroes crazy. I'm telling you. So how you gonna say some teachings and law don't work no more, and you don't need this law? How you don't need the law? How you don't need the international law that works no matter today, tomorrow, yesterday, forevermore? This law gonna work if you know how to defend the Constitution. Let's talk about you don't need that no more. Like, Fool, huh? Are y'all following me? Are y'all following me, man? Are you understand? I hope y'all understand. If you understand what I'm saying, say something back to me, man. Y'all got to say something back to me. Because this is crazy. This is crazy. Right. I told y'all I read y'all a letter yesterday. Because we got to look, like I said, I read y'all a letter yesterday, didn't I? And I have to keep doing it just for things can start just trickling down and sinking in. Like, man, I see what he's saying. He like, this ain't nothing but fraud what they doing. Like, they ain't charted the right way. That's what you would figure out. That's right, Tyrell. Law and history is one. That's why you can figure things out. And I tell Morris, it's a thing called the Free Information Act. It's a thing called the doc number. Don't sit up here and lie because I'm telling you, I'm a scientist. I'm going to be like, I'm not going to bust you out in your face, but I might hit you up and be like, no, you need to research this. Stop posting memes. If you're saying you teaching somebody something, and then the ones that's religious, they get upset. So I don't deal with that. I shake your hand hard as hell and I squeeze it. But let me read y'all this letter. Record of deeds, Register of Torrens, Titles, Cook County, Illinois. I read this yesterday. I got to set the atmosphere. I got to set the atmosphere for you can know, for you can be like, man, what in the heck? So you can get with the right teachings. I keep telling y'all, the building don't mean nothing. It's the teachings. It's the person that's appointed and anointed and consecrated. That's the temple. That's where the body should go. A building don't mean nothing that somebody established that the prophet established years ago. The prophet Noble Drew Ali in here. Look at the buildings and the people that's in it. If the people that's in that building is on some goofball, their own thing, that don't mean nothing. And we create our own body legally and lawfully. That's what I'm telling y'all. Like minds. But watch this. Via email, July 8th, 2016. This is what I say, man. I don't care if Moors get mad. We have to tell the truth, folks. People won't keep going to jail. You know, I keep telling y'all, you got to listen to how it's a thing called double talk in politics. Research it. You know what double talk? I bet you a lot of people don't understand what a double talk can really consist of. A lot of politicians double talk. A lot of CEOs double talk. I mean, it's a thing that's practiced. That when I tell a person like how me and my dad used to study, and I'll be like, if you don't know the language, I'll double talk you all day. You see? And this is what I tell Moors. I say, you must understand linguistic apartheid. You must be willing to study under the right auspices. When people be talking about a temple and you go into a physical temple that's made with hands and the body of the temple is not right, that ain't nothing but a damn structure. Think about this science. Think about all these Moors that got these TV shows and all this. I don't see no science. I don't see any builder. I don't see any teachings. And then they say when they go to the temples, why aren't you not showing the teachings in the temple? Why would you come home and jump on the internet and start talking crazy, like challenging and all that goofy stuff that I see these brothers doing? If we're going to be teaching and building. And that's why I said I had a physical temple out here for 3 years. None of the Moors' wives came. None. And like I tell you, my parents have testified to this. So these are the things when I'm telling Moors, you have to get out of your lower self and get out of that. We just want to follow a person because the law don't change. It's the teachings that correct you. It's the teachings. It's the teachings. And spiritually, this Moors Quran catches you up. I tell Moors, man, they don't even know what the Moors Quran consists of. When I talk about this, unto thee I grant, our Moors Quran is structured like this. But Moors will never know because when I talk about the shrine, not being a shriner, but when I'm talking about going through the shrine, if you adapt, you must go through the shrine because there's adapt wisdom that you must understand. And then don't call yourself no scholar. And then when you have no scholarship, you see, these are the things that a person is going to tell you, oh, somebody chose me. Somebody chose you. Man, can't nobody choose you. You must be appointed, consecrated, anointed. You got to listen to people's language. Listen to people's language. How can somebody handpick me? Somebody handpick. Can't nobody handpick you. This ain't politics. What you talking about? You see, you got to listen to a person's language. I'm telling you, I break this science down. You must be anointed, consecrated, and appointed. Meaning it's supposed to be under this fez and turban. Proves me wrong. Can't nobody just handpick you. Oh, my dad can't just handpick me if I'm a fucking idiot. Oh, well, my dad handpicked me. Then I can get in the Bible when you had an unrighteous king. And the king's sons were just ruling justly, thinking they should be princes and kings because their daddy was righteous. But they were some damn goofballs. Huh? You see the asinineness in this double talk? I just told you it's a thing called double talk. And Negroes be double talking. They'll try to tell you what something is and then turn right around and convict themselves. I said, man, your ears ain't in tune. See, I'm in tune, everything. My ears be flapping like this. Beep, 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 beep. I be like a cartoon. I be like, I cringe. How? Because that's how my mama trained me. Like, you better know everything with words. And when I start hearing stupid stuff, I cringe. I write everything down and I play it back like a recorder. Then they put their tail in their ass. You can't, how can somebody handpick you? The body ain't picked you. You ain't consecrated. You ain't anointed. You ain't appointed. Talk to me. But then you say somebody handpicked you. You out of pocket. That's why I be laughing. And I proceed. Now, watch this. July 8th, 2016, Sheik Lana Love L. Sheikist, D Love L. Moorish Science Temple of America. Sheik and Sheikist Love L. Hey, I told y'all anything can be researched. You ain't got to be mad at me. Listen, in the past few days, the Cook County Record of Deeds has received several forms of emails corresponding from you regarding concerns that you have involved in the organizational documents and other documents relating to the Moorish Science Temple of America, the MSTA. I am writing to address these concerns and clarify the role that the CCRD has as the custodian of the public records. Many of your concerns were raised in the form of numbered questions, and the CCRD's response to these questions are follows. I got to do this. This is how you're going to know for a fact. To when they come with that garbage, you can just shake a person's hand. That's all you're supposed to do. You don't get mad like a dog. You don't do that. I already did that for you. I already did that for you. So you don't have to do that. That's what when I mentor the young kids, I say it's things that you don't have to do. I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen. If you don't listen to me, this is what's going to happen. Not saying I'm a know-it-all. Man, I done lived. I've earned to say these things. And then I'm in tune with nature. And it's just what it is. You can't be mad at that. Why if somebody does, you think you just read some paper and it's not manifesting in your life? When I talk about the Kemetic principle, when I talk about family, when I talk about being a likable person and a righteous person, this ain't nothing about being nice. But watch this. This answers the questions. In her capacity as the Register of Turin's title, what is the full scope of the fiduciary duty owed to document 1010-5905? Now watch. Look, Morris. I have to show y'all over and over that 1010 number I just told y'all. That's the number that's Noble Drew Ali used as the document for the Moorish Science Temple of America only. Right, Morris? I don't even know what I did with all my stuff. I'll be losing stuff. Oh, it's back here. For the Moorish Science Temple of America only. Can't nobody at home just make you some card and use the 1010 number. Wait. And use the 1010 number. Because if you do, if a person want to enforce the law, which is a person's right to enforce the law, you can be sued for fraud, for impersonating something that you're not a part of. Think about it. Think about it just think about it. And don't get caught in your lower self. Think about like, well, how can that happen? Here go one. As an individual person or a business, you steal somebody's social security number. That's fraud. That's one. Number two, business that's set up, tax exempt. That's like the Moorish Science Temple. Just like my school, the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. You use their tax exempt status fraudulently. That's fraud. When people be saying the Moorish Science Temple don't have a tax ID number, they lying to you. I'm going to tell you we do. I ain't got to lie to you, man. I don't got to lie to nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? We got a tax exempt number. If we talk about the Moorish Science Temple of America, which Noble Drew Ali established, Not to say that make you better than nobody. Not to say that make you better than nobody, because it don't. It's the teachings and understanding law. But I'm telling you, because anybody can proclaim, declare, and have due process. But the Moorish Science Temple is something that was established legally. That's why I say it's more than just a religion. That's why I tell Moors, and I be like, Moorish Science is more than a religion, because our religion is Islamism. Our religion is Islamism. You know? Yes. Islamism, when I say we have a religion, that's connecting God and man as one. And anybody tell you that, like I said, I know imams and I know people that think they're elite, but the oath of them is their religion. Not an oath they finna die or nothing, but the oath that like they teach a certain religious dogma from a perspective. And that's all. So this is what you got to understand. But when I talk about that 1010 number that I just read on our ID, and I showed you we do have a tax ID number, and the resulting entity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, as a body politic, named in said document, this is the response from the CCRD Moors. After reading your question, I assume that you are asking what the recorder's duties and responsibilities are in relation to this and other documents. In this regard, the recorder has two specific duties and responsibilities. I want y'all to be clear with this. Listen clearly. Get out of your feelings, because I'm trying to save y'all, man. This is a message for some and a divine warning for others. I gave y'all the warning of Moors that's confused of navigating. When I tell y'all that UCC1 stuff is a fraud, that expatriation stuff, that's a fraud. I'm telling y'all, man. I give y'all simple law. This is elementary, man. But the first recorder is responsible for recording documents that are entitled to be recorded. Second, the recorder has the responsibility of being the custodian of all recorded documents. That's it. Document 1010-5905 is an affidavit of organization under the Religious Corporations Act 805, capital ILCS 110, lowercase et, dot, in lowercase seq, dot. Research this. Under the Religious Corporations Act, there are specific requirements that need to be met in order for a document to be recorded pursuant to that act. That act is 805 ILCS 110-36 Moors. And at that time, this document was presented to the CCRD. It met all of the requirements and it was recorded. You see? I hope y'all follow me so you can shut all these Moors down with this fake temple stuff. And I'm like, listen, man, it's the body that's right. It's the teachings. It's the teachings. It's the teachings. It's what's inside of it. And if a person say they a sheik and all this, I just broke simple stuff down to y'all. When a person listen to the person's language, I know I got people on here that love language. My mother linguistic, this is what we do. Nobody can select you. You must be appointed, consecrated. Right? It must be things. Can't no one person, somebody handpicked me. How? The body, if somebody handpicked you, that means the body has nothing to do with it. And the body is the ones that, what? Appoint. That's why elected was out. Because there's supposed to be some wisdom and science under this fez. Especially when these Moors the true masonry. And I say you're supposed to understand at least the 32 and 33 degrees before you even put this fez or the turban on your crown or your capta. Because that's when you're supposed to understand, like they all like to use the catchphrase, your instruction number 2. You see? As custodians for this document and other recorded documents, unless specifically restricted by law, the documents are made available for purchase by the public. See the Doc Law 55 ILCS 5-4-12002. This is free information when I be telling y'all. That's why I tell y'all, I don't know what Moors talking about. They getting everybody in trouble because they know that most Moors is not going to research and they're not going to follow a true teacher because true teachings is not popular. That's why I said, look at a comedian. They can always mock a preacher and get up there with that goofy shit. But they can't mock a teacher, a scholar, because then you got to come with some scholarship and some wisdom. And that's what most of these I don't even call them dirty Moors. These domestic terrorists do. Why? How can you have all these temples and they're not teaching the truth, the true science and the true law to restore people, to restore people? That's why I be saying, it's like, come on, man, it's the teachings. It's the teachings that save you. I hope you're not missing what I'm saying. But in other words, Morris, if a customer requests to purchase a certified or non-certified copy of this document from the CCRD will provide such a copy to the customer if they pay the required fee. Now look, let me show y'all something else. This one you gotta shut this stuff down. Y'all gotta shut this goofy stuff down. That's why I tell y'all, if the temples were set up the right way, they'll be telling y'all the truth. I just read to y'all, it's free. That's free. Then I just tell y'all, listen to me again. As custodians for this document, what document? That 1010 number that's on our ID cards, the 1010-5905 number that Negroes love, or this ain't nothing but an affidavit of organization under the Religious Corporation Act. I gave you the law, the act, 805 ILCS 110-36. So when I'm talking about the county of Cook, Illinois, listen to this again. As custodians of the documents and other recorded documents, unless specifically restricted by law, the documents are made available. They are made available for purchase by the public. And you got to see 55 ILCS 5-4-12002. In other words, Morris, if a customer requests to purchase a certified or non-certified copy of this document from the CCRD will provide such a copy to the customer if they pay the required fee. That's why Moore's not going to teach you the truth. The Moorish Science Temple of America, I'll show you how the temple's set up. We're going to go over all this in school. That's why I said you're going to get the 32 degrees from me. It's not the building, it's the body, it's the teachings. You're going to get the science. Once we go over our Akashic records, man, when I show y'all, like, listen, man, before I even finish this, a lot of our elders has failed us. No disrespect. I don't respect a person because they got gray on their head. I respect the wisdom. The glory of a young man is his strength, but the wisdom of an older man or woman is supposed to be the grays on their head. So if you're not exhuming wisdom and knowledge and willing to listen, I can't rock with you. I don't respect that. My mom and my dad in the room, and that's how they raised me. That's how my parents brought me up. You know, to be honorable and respectable. But you don't got to respect nobody that's not exhuming respect. They just was blessed or to live a whole bunch of time or lucky. Do whatever the hell you want to, catchphrase you want to use. But the CCRD has no other duties and responsibilities relating to this particular document. In other words, the CCRD is simply a custodian of the records and makes it available to the public for a fee. Are y'all listening to me? So when you got all these Moors talk about this so secret, I watch. When I demonstrate again, I'm going to have my dad speak on just exactly what's going on in the temple. And I told you after I had metaphysical class, none of the Moors wise, nobody had come. But when I teach, they all coming. I'm telling you. What are the procedures for filing documents under the 805 ILCS Religious Corporation Act related to the property, mortgage, notes, etc.? Listen to the response. Real estate related documents such as property, deeds, mortgage, or notes are not recorded under the Religious Act, under the Religious Corporation Act. Are y'all listening to me? When people begin you caught up in some dumbass vast estate, and I say, y'all not even listening to the language. I keep telling y'all words have duality. So if you don't understand the duality of words, you lost. I promise you, you getting caught up in face value. And most Moors that think they know something, they know you don't know. I'm telling you. Because I know Moors do not study. I know Moors don't study. I know Moors don't study. And that's okay. Because when I speak on this, unto thee I grant, Moors be like, oh, I'm like, this, the Quran, Noble Drew Ali used some of this to construct the Quran. I'm telling you, we talking about adept wisdom. The Aquarian Gospels, what Eliseus Levi talked about and Noble Drew Ali, man, that's ancient old Egyptian manuscripts. How I know? Because I got the big manual over here. I'm telling you, it's science. Look, man, nobody plagiarized nobody. We're talking about science. And we're talking about things that make sense. Just like when I talk about the Kemetic principles, connotated Hermetic, and Kabbalah. It's the same science, but persons put their own perspective on it. I hope you listening to the words that are coming out my mouth. That's how I know Morris not studying. And these are the things me and my father talk about. And I'm like, man, everybody is not going to go through the fire, but you should be willing to be educated on things. And the teachings can make you a better man, can make you a better empress, can make your children better, can make things right in your house. Why? Because that's what we teach. This Morris Quran is only, he said that only 18 of the missing years of what? That's why I know more when Morris be this and stuff, and I say, what is this about? The 18 missing years of what? They like, what you talking about, Noble? I said, what is this Quran about? The 18 missing years of what? They can't say it, but then I see you goofballs on the internet, this and stuff. And I say, this is the 18 missing years of Jesus, but it wasn't a J in Jesus in a Hebrew dialect. We're talking about one aspect. We're talking about the exoteric, the 18 missing years of Jesus, which is Yahshua's life, and your committing workman tools. Prove me wrong. And how to be a better person, how to be a good husband, a good wife, a good children, to be responsible, to be dedicated. The uniting of Asia. See, it's the teachings. It's the teachings. I know Moors don't even have this book. How I know, my dad will tell you, grown Negroes in the temple. I'm in there talking about the Quran. I come home, I'm like, Dad, for one, they don't even open the meetings right. They ain't even have it. So how you gonna speak on something you ain't have? They were there, man. Then the goofball sheiks and the fake governor talk about the Morris Quran is written in code. Oh man, you know what? I said, what code? Fool, English? I'm telling you this. Y'all think I'm making this stuff up, man? Y'all think I'm making this stuff up, man? I am not. Hey, it is what it is. That's whatever cliche, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. But my parents attest to it. And that's why them goofball Moors had to go. And right now they all over the place. What are the procedures for including the Moorish Science Temple of America to the list of the body politics on file with the Cook County Record of Deeds? Listen to this. Listen to the response, y'all. The CCRD does not maintain a list of body politics. With this said, as mentioned above, the CCRD accepts documents related to the organization and corporation of religious entities under the Religious Corporation Act. The document that you are concerned with, document 1010-5905, has already been recorded by the CCRD. Is it true that accordance to provisions made possible for the body politics under Home Rule, that documentation and laws of Moorish Science Temple of America as a body politic are applicable to the management of said trust? Listen clearly. When y'all get caught up in some trust, now I'm going to break this down religiously before I give you the response from them. In church, in organization, you got what? A trustee. So the next thing on the behalf of the other Grand Party, what we have to do, we have to trust them too. So the next thing, it have to be something that we have to trust them what the hell they doing. So if it ain't no trust, how the hell you gonna be? What trust fund? Some magic mushrooms? See, this is what I be telling people. Y'all talk about some trust. Okay, well, what the trust? The trust got to be something, somebody, some gold, some 4-leaf clovers, something. You talk about some trust, like you finna get something. You see how stupid stuff is? Think about it. Because I can show you the only thing that was left is an abandoned building that's foreclosed with them niggas take a picture on his birthday. They want to get in front and smile. And I show you they don't have a real organization. If that's the case, all them brothers could have put them funds together and rebuilt it. And that's what I'm telling you. It's all a joke. Everybody just be talking. You got the keys? Yeah. But here go the response. The CCRD is unaware of what specific documentation and laws are applicable to the management of any trust maintained by or for the benefit of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I would like to note that the Religious Corporation Act states that trustees of religious organizations shall have the care, custody, and control of the real property and personal property of the organization. And then when they talk about religious organization, Moors don't even know why Noble Drew Ali made it a religion and nationality. And we're going to break this science down on part 2. Because remember, when we talk about a 3/5 of a person and a 5/5, and what brings you back to that whole threshold is your nationality and your spirituality. So I hope Morris not getting caught up in the religion and understanding the duality and how prophetic and what Noble Drew Ali was really, really doing. I hope y'all following me, man. I hope y'all following me. And then we get in law, and I show y'all things, how the British and things, when we talk about the flag with Fort Negro. I'm telling you, man. So I hope y'all, when I tell y'all history and law synchronizes. But hey, you're going to get that in school. I promise you that. But yeah, And the law and the doc number is 805 ILCS 110-43. The CCRD is not a trustee of any trust or trust asset being held by or for the benefit of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Are we clear, Moors? Come on, this is simple stuff. Oh, I forgot. Everybody say they studying, telling the truth, but wait till we get to part 2, when I remove the veil of religious dogma and that Masonic keys. But has this office done any, competent research to determine who are the current executive rulers of the adapt chambers of the Moorish Science Temple of America, sheiks with powers and duties similar to that of a trustee? Are you seeing the double talk? I gave y'all already when I told y'all can't nobody nationalize you or just make you something based off what? I hope y'all following this language. Watch this, the response. When somebody talk about they some rulers of the adapt chamber. And I say, you can't be a rulers of the science. You can't be a ruler of no science. And that be the thing right there when you got these Negroes acting like God. And that's how you know they don't know shit. Because if you have the keys, it's nothing sacred. Nothing secret. It's sacred. And I give the keys as a map. Because I want us to be a body politic, not just me acting like no God. It's the laws and the degrees that make you what? Back who you need to be. It's the teachings. Not nobody holding something over you talking about they finna send you through some adapt chamber with some goofy stuff. Come on, man. But the response, it is my understanding that the current sheiks of the Moorish Science Temple of America are reflected in recorded documents that amend document 1010-5905. If there were any changes to the trustees of the organization that are not reflected in the documents, the CCRD would not be aware of them. You hear me? Listen to this. Is this office aware that the founder, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, has the authority to issue document 1010-5905, and in such has been the case since 8/1/1929. Listen to this. Response, although I am unclear what you mean by issuing the document, but part of the recorder's duties include maintaining recorded documents and providing certified and non-certified copies of recorded documents for sale to the public. Is this office aware that the unauthorized issuance and collections of funds resulting from the issuance constitutes a breach of registrar's fiduciary duty as custodian, criminal fraud, embezzlement, etc.? Listen to this. The response, your position is illegally and factually incorrect. Please see the relevant statutory authority referred above. You see, these Negroes be lying to y'all, man. In some of your correspondence, you indicate that the CCRD have refused to file certain real estate and non-real estate related documents and index them under Trust 1010-5905. To be clear, document 1010-5905 is not a trust document. This document is simply an affidavit of organization under the Religious Corporation Act. What this means is that the document serves as a record that the Moorish Science Temple of America is organized, incorporated as a religious corporation. Religious corporation under the Religious Corporations Act. The CCRD is not a trustee of any trust or trust assets maintained by or for the benefit of the Moorish Science Temple of America. That responsibility lies with the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I told you, it ain't no damn trust. If you the trust, if you are having difficulty recording certain documents in our office, please refer to the recording requirements referred in the legal authority cited above. Finally, you stated that you would like the Moorish Science Temple of America to place employees in the CCRD for various purposes. State law clearly indicates that you have no authority to demand that you employ members of your congregation in our office. The recorder has the right to control the internal operations of her office. See the law 551 LCS 5-3-5005-2. Telling you, man. Now, I just touched the waters on that. I'm finna log off. I'm finna get my tea, log right back on, and we about to get a quick adapt wisdom. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my work on, put my suit on, go do my thing. Log back on. Get your pencils and your papers. If you didn't send a donation in, you should. It's Cash App, $KG Bay. We gonna clear it all up. Log back on. Peace.